So stream number one is something that we're all familiar with, and that is streaming. I know probably a lot of people just rolled their eyes right now because it feels absolutely impossible to make money from streaming. And on my last episode, I got some negative comments related to this on what I was sharing about streaming. So I got this comment from Party Marty 6969. He says, it's sad you're supporting Spotify. Every stream on Spotify generates 100 pennies or $1. No, that's actually not true. But Spotify keeps 99.6 pennies out of the 100 pennies from one stream. Again, not true. 70 pennies go to major labels, even if they're not signed to a major label. Not true. 29.6 pennies goes to Spotify. I see what they're getting at. I'll explain later how Spotify actually pays and all that works. And the remainder goes to the artist, which is less than 1 penny from the 100 pennies generated from one stream. And I explain that's not how Spotify works. I still need to respond to his comments, which I do appreciate. I appreciate every comment, even the ones that push back and have a different opinion. So I really appreciate that. We'll explain how Spotify royalties work instead. That's what this video is. I'm actually just reading this now for the first time. He says, I bought it Spotify for 8 years and made 0.004 per stream the whole time. So I understand the payment system. Botting Spotify is my protest against Spotify until they implemented AI into their platform. No, I don't use it at all. So right away, they're showing that they're kind of a nefarious character if they were intentionally using bots to try and steal from Spotify. So I understand if they're having some issues. That is definitely black hat, definitely unethical, really bad idea. Don't use bots. And I guess you got upset because I haven't responded fast enough. Oh, it's fun. It's fun. That's not how streaming works. How does Spotify actually pay? Well, they use a pro rata model, which is fancy Latin for in proportion. So there's a big pie of all the revenue that Spotify makes. So Spotify takes 30%, and then the other 70% is all pooled together and distributed according to proportion. So whatever proportion of the Spotify streaming pie that you're responsible for with your streams, you get a proportionate level of royalties. So how much you make per stream is actually going to vary based on how many streams you're generating. If you generate more revenue for Spotify, you're going to get a larger cut. So this is known as stream share, and that's your share of the streams determines what you actually get paid. So in general, you can expect somewhere between $0.003 to $0.005 per stream, so a fraction of a cent. And so say you want to make $1,000 a month from streaming, which I think is a pretty reasonable target for most independent artists. And right, this is just 1 out of 10 streams. So I said that in my last video. I don't recommend making Spotify your #1 all-in focus on how you're making a full-time income from your music. Now, there are people doing that. In fact, I point out to my friends, so you can complain all you want, but I have a friend who went full-time and made a living from music just from Spotify streams alone. So it is possible. It's very hard, right? Also depends on different things like genre and so on. And you have to be able to run ads. And that's a whole other topic. So anyway, but most people could probably get to the point where it's a nice stream of income. It's not like making all of your income. It's not paying all your bills, but it can still be a nice stream of income because it's something I advocate is having multiple streams of income for your music. And so if you wanted to get to 1,000 a month streaming, this depends on how many songs you have on Spotify and how many streams each song is getting per day or per month, whatever. So if you had 20 songs on Spotify, you would need each song to generate 417 streams per day to generate $1,000 a month. 50 songs, you need 167 streams per day per song. 100 songs, you only need 83 streams per day per song to make $1,000 a month. Now we're saying it gets a little bit more reasonable. So if you build up your catalog, which who doesn't want to do that anyway? I don't know why people push back when I talk about that. Don't you love making music? If you're a music artist, don't you want to have tons of music to put out? I remember that's something I just did for fun back when I was just like a kid making music. Was I would just create all these like imaginary albums, and they'd have all these different concepts and what the song titles would be on each album, all these songs I wanted to release. I never actually did any of that because I was too scared to release music. But I always have wanted to release tons of music because I love making music and I make lots of music. So anyway, if you build up that catalog, which I think we all want to do anyway, it makes it easier and easier to make money because you have that catalog that builds on itself and you need fewer streams per song to make what you want to make. And of course, if you go crazy, you got 300 quality songs out there on Spotify, you're getting them on playlists, maybe you're running some ads, maybe you're building up an audience that you're sending people back to your music for, then you only need 28 streams per day per song to make $1,000 a month. Obviously, that's crazy. That could take you years and years, maybe a decade to get to that money, depending on how many songs you're releasing. But you can see there is some money to be made here from streaming. And so probably the sweet spot for most artists, and what I've heard a lot of them say when they talk about making consistent, decent money from Spotify is they talk about getting to, you know, at least 100 songs in your catalog, 80 to 100. I think that's what, like Roos, when he blew up. Now, of course, he's probably an exception, but he just released a song a week for like 2.5 years before he blew up, went platinum and everything. But he was just an indie artist releasing music. And I think he was around 80 to 100 songs when he finally blew up on Spotify. And that also plays into another concept I talk about on this channel, which is the idea of speed and being prolific, because that's how you get to quality. If you're repeating and fine-tuning your process over and over again, over time at scale, you're going to get way better. So that could be part of it too. He just released so much music and so consistently that he grew his skills so much faster over time, so that by the end, he was releasing really good music. So it did really well and got lots of streams. Now, when it comes to streaming and getting your music onto music streaming platforms, the best music distributor out there is Lander, and this is the one I've used. I've used several of them, and Lander is one I've found to be the absolute best. Number one is because you can upload unlimited music for a very small fee, or if you don't like subscriptions, you can also pay per release, which gives you incredible flexibility, and you keep 100% of your royalties. You also get extras that companies will charge you more for example, YouTube Content ID. It also is the easiest and most affordable platform for doing cover songs, as you just pay $15 one time, and all the legal stuff is handled for you when it comes to cover songs. You're not having to pay $12 every single year for a single cover song like you do with DistroKid. Other platforms, they don't provide any cover song services for you, so you have to go and hunt down the license yourself, which you can do with Lander if you choose to, but they also just make it so easy for you. And your music stays up forever. You can cancel at any time, and your music doesn't get taken down like on these other platforms. It just reverts to an 85%, 15% split, where Lander takes 15% and you get to keep 85% of the royalties. So far and away, the best music distributor out there right now. And you can actually get 20% off your first year when you use my affiliate link. Just go to orpheusaudioacademy.com/Lander to get started. So we're going to another case study here. This is my friend Nico, goes by Jend on Spotify. I mentioned him in the last video as well, and done interviews with him. And he's just a really great example because he's an independent artist, no label. He's had labels in the past, but those didn't go well, which we talked about in our interviews. But anyway, as of the recording of this video, he had over 1 million monthly listeners and makes a full-time income as an independent artist. And so his strategy is he releases music every 4 to 6 weeks. And again, people lose their minds over that. Like, oh, what about quality? That's so much. That's only like 12 songs a year. That's like 1 album a year. That's not crazy. And then you want to run meta ads to then promote your songs. And we go over this. I'll have linked below where he goes into detail on what his ad strategy is. I have a whole video on that. And then those ads get people into his ecosystem to get him to get over to Spotify, listening to his music. And playlist promotion is also part of his strategy, not only getting his songs onto other people's playlists through tools like SubmitHub, but he also builds up his own Spotify playlist, runs ads to those, and uses those so that whenever time he has a new song out, he adds it to his own playlist that he owns and controls, and has, well, technically Spotify does, but he has access to run it, and then he puts them on that playlist. They get tons of streams. The algorithm sees that, and then his music gets put into the algorithmic playlist, which is really real money is at and consistency, not the editorial playlist like everyone wants. You basically are building your own editorial playlist. The other cool thing is he makes like $1,000 a month, I think he said, just from his playlist alone, not even the streams he gets, but because you can then sign up for SubmitHub and these other platforms, and then artists will pay for you to listen to their music, get paid just to listen to music. And then if you like it, you can add it to your playlist. And that's how he makes another really nice chunk of income on the side right there. So the streaming game, there definitely can be money that is to be made if you're consistent and you treat it like a business. And so you also, a key part of his strategy is focusing on the first 48 hours, because once your song is first released, that's when Spotify is really paying attention and saying, how well is this song doing? And if you give it lots of positive metrics like streams, like people listening for longer than 30 seconds, not skipping, not disliking, they add it to a playlist, they like it, save it, all those positive indicators, then it's really going to boost the song and make it more likely to get put into those algorithmic playlists like Discover Weekly, different things like that. So this is just a crash course. If you want more details on how to implement this and how to actually start making $1,000 a month just from streaming, Then grab my free ebook, Spotify Secrets. You can see the URL right there on the screen and how to get that. I'll also have that linked in the description. And this will show you how you can go about triggering the Spotify algorithm so you can actually start generating streams, fans, and income from your music. So completely free. Now here's another example of a much smaller artist that I wanted to share because A, I really like them. I just found them. They're called 80s Heartbeat. Pretty sure it's just one guy producer. Maybe I should reach out to him and see if I can interview him, but looks like he's published his first song May 6th, 2025. So less than a year ago. And he's put out 45 songs, right? Incredible. So a lot of people would be like, well, it can't be good quality if you're releasing music that frequently. And now you're just making your music content and now it's not any good. Well, I would beg to differ because if you like synthwave, you're going to like 80s Heartbeat, and almost all the songs are really great. But you can see I've liked a lot of these. I don't even know if I've listened to all these. These are like really good songs. Something interesting, like all of his music is instrumental, so it's really nice to like listen. It's easy to listen to like on repeat and have in the background. So maybe that's something else to think about. Just started publishing for less than a year, has 45 tracks out on Spotify. And then here's some data I just wanted to show you. So according to, this is Chartmasters, reason I found 80s Heartbeat, I'm pretty sure was from Release Radar. So it's those algorithmic playlists. So if you get your music out there and it hits a certain popularity score, you're going to be more likely to be found on these algorithmic playlists, which is where I think he's getting a lot of his streams. I could be wrong. Maybe he's running ads. I don't know. It'd be good to interview him. But again, very new artist. All right, so since I recorded this video, I did go ahead and message him on Instagram, and here's what he has to say on promo. Pretty much just meta ads and just staying consistent with releases. So pretty much what I thought. By the way, here's what he says on how he's able to put out so much amazing music. This is about 20 years worth of recording and making music. As boring as it sounds, setting up workflow templates and limiting the number of plugins really helps. So this really fits into some of the other content I've created on my channel that talks about how you can go about creating music faster. And those are actually a couple of the tips I share: using templates, limiting your tools, limiting your plugins, working within constraints. So if you want to learn more about how to create music faster, I'll link a couple of videos in the description below. But big thank you to 80s Heartbeat for letting me ask those questions and agreeing to allow me to share them in this video. So definitely something to chew on. Very similar strategy to what Nico is doing. Just creating lots of music and then running ads to those songs. And he's getting already 3,600 daily streams, over 100,000 streams a month. And this is doing this for, again, less than a year, just putting out a lot of music. Spotify promoted his music for him to me. And he's making about 600 a month just from Spotify streams. That doesn't count YouTube or anything else. So I've seen his music on YouTube as well. So in just 1 year, he got to the point where he is making money. Now, I don't know, again, if he's spending money on ads, what's the actual profit versus revenue. But as you can see, you can still start to make money from Spotify. I think it is a decent kind of side stream, but it's also just great for the discovery because, again, I never would have found 80s Heartbeat if it wasn't for Spotify. And I just have the Midnight on here because they're kind of the top of this genre, and they're making 52,000 a month in revenue from Spotify alone. So if you get really huge, I guess that's what's possible. But I'm guessing that has to go to the label and different people that have access to their music. So I just thought that was really interesting. And I feel like kind of put to shame a little bit because I feel like this is something I should be doing, releasing a lot more music. I have a lot more music I'm just sitting on, and I haven't gotten around to like finishing it up. Now I am trying to do vocals and do vocals with my wife, so it's a little bit more, but maybe I should start just publishing a lot of instrumental music too. Now, if you want to check out that video that breaks down the exact ad strategy that Jen uses to generate millions of streams and over 1 million monthly listeners, including I break down some exact examples of ads that he has run. So if you want to see the exact ads and learn his strategy, click the video on the screen now.